Hey, this is Alex from Cephable, and I'm so excited to show you what's new in version 2.1.0 of the Cephable app for Mac and for Windows. And for mobile, that's version 3.1.0. In this new version, we have tons of new amazing features. I think the biggest ones that we're going to want to look at today are global in device controls, automatic profile switching, and also some of the dictation support. But there's also things packed in here, tons of bug fixes, way better mouse support, especially on Windows. So try out the new head mouse controls. But really, I think the biggest thing that we're going to see is the changes that we can do across apps and the power of global controls and automatic profile switching and how those come together. So let's start in the Cephable app here. You'll notice some new things like I have automatic profile switching turned on. Really, what automatic profile switching allows us to do is associate control profiles that we have with different apps on our computer. And so that when we switch to those apps, it will automatically switch to those profiles. And so, for example, if I go and look at the Cephable app controls, I can go into options and view advanced options. And if I scroll down, I'll see that there's this associated programs. I can edit the associated programs, and we'll see that the associated app that this profile works with is Cephable itself. But I can add other associated programs too. So it's not just a one-to-one type of thing. If you wanted to use the same controls for Outlook and for Word, for example, you can totally do that. And all you have to do to add another app is you click the plus button, and then you start typing in the name of the app that you want to use. So for example, as I start typing, it'll show me the apps that I have installed that I can pick from. But if it's something that, is maybe a little bit different, or if you're editing it for mobile, you can also just type anything else in here too. So if I type Cephable, you'll see it here, but also I have things like Oculus Developer Hub. Because I already have it set up, I'm going to go ahead and leave without saving any of those changes. But what you'll also notice is I can start my microphone and actually open apps by using just my voice. Open PowerPoint. Now it opened up PowerPoint for me, which is really cool. And I'm going to go ahead and pause my voice. But at the same time, whenever I am in PowerPoint, notice how these profiles will change. So currently the focused app is Cephable because I just moved it around. Now when I click into PowerPoint, it switches to my PowerPoint controls. You no longer have to keep going back to the Cephable app and continue to swap those around. If you're using the profile generator from Cephable to create new profiles, that associated app will also come from this label. So if you type in the name of your app here, it'll also find it and apply it there too. So you don't always have to go to the advanced section. But we also just saw that I was able to open an app with voice controls. So that's a new thing, right? That's global controls. Let me show you where you can edit these. Down here underneath your profile section on the home page in the Cephable app, we have the device controls and global controls. I'll move these back over here. If I go into edit these, we'll see that we have the ability to do things like change a profile by name by using our voice. We can pause voice controls and resume voice controls and start dictation mode, stop dictation mode, start optimistic, pause camera controls, resume camera controls, update our camera baseline, switch cameras, and open an app by name, all just using our voice through Cephable voice controls. But just like everything else in Cephable, these are entirely editable. So for example, the default voice controls are here for things like pausing voice. But I can also do things like resuming voice, start voice, and it picked it up again. Even though my speech recognition was paused, I was actually able to kick it off again, still using a voice control. But I can edit these too. For example, if I didn't want resume listening, resume voice, start listening, start voice, I can edit these. I can add new things I can say. I can remove some of these if they're conflicting with something else I want to do. Total flexibility here for any given control. For example, we also had down here opening an app by name with open app. And so you saw me earlier say open PowerPoint, which worked great. But maybe I want to use open for something else. I could say start or switch to PowerPoint. And you can edit these and you can add variations too. So even if you wanted to be more specific, like open app named, and then the actual phrase after being PowerPoint, we can save this and say open app named PowerPoint, for example, and we'll be off and running. So really cool stuff you can do with global controls. Now, back on the homepage, we still have our automatic profile switch turned on. If you don't want it turned on, you can quickly toggle it from here. You can turn it temporarily off, and you can turn it entirely off, which means that you would then go have to switch it back on. Now, when it's temporarily off, this means that it won't switch the profiles for you, and you can go back and turn it on, or the next time you load up Cephable, it'll be back on again. This switch is also turned on if you ever switch controls manually. So because I came in here and manually changed my current profile, it is now switched to temporarily off, but I can go ahead and turn it back on, hit save, and the next time I switch to a different app, it'll actually kick back up again. So if I opened PowerPoint, for example, I'd be off and running. So, tons of amazing new ways to interact with profiles. Our main goal with this update is to start stepping you all closer towards being able to just use your apps that you want to use using these types of controls and not have to worry about things like switching profiles and managing all these different controls all the time. It should just be as easy as creating the controls for the apps you want and just going and using the apps using Cephable inputs. So, we're super excited about version 2.1.0 and the next updates to come with all sorts of new features as well. So be sure to try it out and give us feedback. You can join us in the Discord and share your thoughts, or all the way in the bottom of the app, there's always the reporting an issue, suggesting a feature, joining our Discord and Facebook groups to be able to share your thoughts. We'd love to hear from you. But thanks for watching.